welcome to the Unscripted podcast. This is episode number 5, we think.
I think so.
My name is Eric.
My name is Alex.
Alex, we have a very interesting guest here today. Someone that I had just recently met. And, I think he's got an impactful story, and I'm excited for you to hear it. I know this is your first time meeting him.
I was going to say, I'm definitely interested. I've only met him for the last couple of minutes, and he seems like a great guy overall, and it seems like he's going to have a great story to pass on and speak to us. So, without a doubt, Angelo, very nice for you to come here and you come join us. Please introduce yourself and tell us, the people, a little bit about yourself, who you are, and who Angelo is.
Well, thank you for the introduction.
Always.
And hopefully I'm at the height of, what you guys are saying. So my name is Angelo, and I'm in real estate. That's why we know Eric. Mm-hmm. And I'll talk about myself, along the way, I guess. It's not much I can introduce myself.
Tell us a little bit about growing up. Tell us a little bit about your story.
Because I hear the accent. What are you?
Oh yeah, I'm originally from Albania.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, I moved here in the States 6 years ago now.
Oh, so you weren't born here?
No,
Okay.
So yeah, I moved here in the States 6 years ago.
Okay.
It was an opportunity that just came by me. It's not that I thought, my entire life that this was my end goal. I'm like, let's just give it a shot. I was 23 at the time, or 22 when.
Because I was gonna ask, because you still look young now.
Yeah, I'm 29 now.
You look good for 29.
Well, thanks.
You look good for 29.
When he told me he was 4 years older than me, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
We met a couple years ago, right?
Jeez, almost 3.
Almost 3 now.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
wow.
crazy.
No, like 2, almost 2.
Two and a half.
Kind of 2.5. Yeah, so I was 27.
Yeah, and I was only 22.
Wow. Wow.
He was young.
Yeah, he was a young bull to you.
He was very young.
So tell me a little bit. So what made you? So living in Albania, what was that like overall? Because you were there for 20 years, your whole life.
Basically my entire life. I never moved out of that country. So, man, I miss it. It's home. So it's beautiful. It's just I just kind of needed something different, for my life. It's we heard a lot of having a lot of opportunities here in the country, and I'm glad because this place is very welcoming for people that are not from here. And then it's not that when we came here, and when I say we, it's me and my wife, my fiance at the time. So we came here, we applied for the visa. I'm not sure what they check, but not everybody kind of get it if they
How
apply.
long did that process take, getting your visa?
Like a year.
That's pretty quick relatively, because I was gonna say, because I'm Russian myself, and so I was born here, but my mom came here when she was 22, and she was 5 months pregnant with my brother.
Oh.
Yeah, so back then obviously it was a complete different story of coming over here, but I hear now that it really just comes down to the application and of where you're coming from, because there's some people that are in your boat that they're waiting 9 months to a year. And then there's some people who are waiting 3 years, 5 years.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
So overall, was the process? Would you say was relatively smooth? It wasn't anything too crazy to get your visa and to be able to become a U.S. citizen.
No, the moment you get approved, you do another application, and from that moment, it's about a couple months, and then you get the visa, and then you can come here anytime as you want after,
They make you take a test and everything.
It's not actually a test. They do all the background needed, and then when you get the visa, you can just come here. It's easy.
So after getting your visa and coming here, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not immediately a citizen of the United States, correct?
No, so you get a permanent residency, right away. You get Social Security and all that. So technically, you don't have a passport, but
you have a Social Security.
Yeah, you have a Social Security. And then within 5 years, you get the citizenship.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then recently, actually, I remember when you told me recently, you actually just became a citizen of the United States.
Oh, 6. If you've been here for 6 years, so that's last year.
So last year I became August. August. I became a citizen. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You go celebrate? You go have a party?
Not really.
No?
It was. I know that, so it's not like a big surprising thing, but it's exciting.
What's something that's you've really enjoyed in America in the last 6 years, and what's something that you like? This is stupid. It doesn't make sense to me.
So when we came here, because we were in school there, in college, and it's like European like college. It's a bit different because we have European, because it's part of Europe.
Yeah.
The system, it's different than it's here. So a bachelor degree there, you can get it in 3 years instead of 4, right? So I had mine, and we both transferred our credits here. So right away went to college here, because I had 3, so I needed to do another one.
Yep.
And then I started taking a couple classes, and everything, it was a big change. It's not that we knew anybody here, no friends, no family, so like different culture. It's like a complete different lifestyle. It was close to a shock, yeah. But we knew that if we stayed, and then did what we had to do, we will eventually, pay off.
Is there anything been so far that you haven't enjoyed about America?
That I haven't enjoyed?
That you don't like?
Like here in Michigan, for example, I don't like the weather. I don't like.
You don't like the cold?
I don't like the cold. Like where I'm coming from.
What do you think about like the traffic, or how people drive? Is it any different?
I think it's not any different. It's kind of it's actually less believe it or not, less traffic here than there. Yeah.
How about the food and the hospitality around here?
The food. I mean, here it's good because you have like every kind of food that exists. So if you don't like something, you're not gonna go eat there, right?
Okay.
So yeah, the food I don't mind the food. Okay. We have kind of the Mediterranean like food mix of like Greek and Italian and all that stuff. So you find it here too. So
it's down this road like where we're located right now. That's all it is. It's all Mediterranean restaurants and all that kind of stuff.
So everywhere.
So in Albania, is it pretty limited on your food options? Like if you wanted to go out to eat to a restaurant, is it?
Not the past. I'd say, I don't know, maybe 5 years. Like they have like every kind of Asian food. Every kind of food there too. So like different, like it is here.
So is fast food like very popular in Albania?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you guys have like your McDonald's and KFC and.
Yes.
So over the last like 5-10 years, those have kind of been starting to come relevant.
It's becoming more normal, and a lot of like tourists are visiting now.
So that's I was gonna ask. So I know that every McDonald's around the world has a different menu. So do you know, like, does Albania McDonald's have stuff that we don't?
McDonald's recently opened there, so I haven't been. I haven't been there in 3 years now.
Okay.
2.5, something like that.
Yeah.
But KFC is the same. They have Burger King is the same. It's pretty much the same.
Everything's pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same.
Pretty much, okay.
Yeah.
Angelo, so overall, what made you want to get into real estate? I hear that's how you and Eric met. That's how you guys' big beginning made. But what made you want to jump into that market, especially coming in here? Because that's a very big jump, you could say, in a sense. Because you could say that what was your bachelor's in? When you went to study
finance.
Yeah. So that's you could have went to go work at a bank. You could have went to go work downtown in Detroit and went for Quicken Loans. You could have done anything.
Yeah.
But you decided to be, in a sense, kind of work for yourself and be a real estate agent.
Yeah.
What made you want to get into that?
That's the first, reason, kind of working for myself. And if I sit down and like imagine myself working in like corporate America my entire life, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Even though, you get a degree, you start, slowly you work your way up. It's kind of, that if you get there, you're going to end up, I don't know where, but somewhere,
Chasing the corporate.
Chasing the corporate. Yeah. So I just did not like that. And then, when you go to school, that's kind of guaranteed, I would say, right? But like real estate as a whole, like it's not just me personally, just about buying and selling homes. Yeah. As a whole, like I just like it. It's very.
You're a big people person.
Interesting to me. Yeah, I like moving around. I don't like having a set schedule. I like being, because in real estate you wake up one day and you don't know what's going to happen until end of the day, right? So I kind of like that
as well.
Yeah. So I kind of like that, and then it was hard because like you said, it's not that I grew up here, I know anybody here, because that's how real estate is or was.
Yeah.
You have to know people so they can bring you business, right?
I was gonna say my dad's used to be a real estate agent, and so that's like when he came to this country, it was the same thing. You're just dealing with the community of people that what relatives, what family, friends need a house, and then from there it's their uncle, and then their nephew, and then their friend, and then the friend's friend, and then before you know it, you have 100 clients on your phone.
Which I will say, knowing Angelo from the start of his real estate career, he always, not growing up here in the United States, moving here 6 years ago, I believe out of everybody who joined the brokerage at the same time we did, he closed the most SOI deals.
What is an SOI?
Sphere of influence. Someone you knew prior to joining the team.
Oh, wow.
Which you closed, I think, 7 or 8 your first year?
7 my first
7.
year, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy for someone who relatively just came to the United States 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And being one of your struggles getting into the business, as you're saying, you didn't know a lot of people. What are some of your successes that you had early in the business?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, when I initially made the decision to join real estate to try, I was gonna say, I had switched because I was taking a couple classes a semester, moving back and forth from different jobs, and so I decided to make the move, right? And I did a few researches, not a lot. I asked a couple people. I'm like I mentioned before that I listen to a lot of podcasts. I watch a lot of videos, and I kind of knew from the beginning how like real estate works.
You just want to keep yourself educated.
Yeah, I like to like keep myself educated and learn a lot. So I kind of knew, but at the same time I wasn't like sure,
Okay.
So because the real estate, you can start by yourself and you can join a team, as we did, right?
Yeah.
So and there was kind of the best advice that a lot of people that have been in the industry for a while
Start off on a team.
yeah, they just advised me to start off on a team.
That's what I've heard a lot, because it's kind of it's a way for you to get your foot in the door without having to spend all the money, know.
Exactly.
In a sense, you're using someone else's resources, gaining all the advantages, all the power, and then in hopes after 3-5 years, you got your shit together enough where you can be like, okay, time to go do my thing.
And
now.
not even that. At the end of the day, too, you have all of the resources that someone has worked 20, 25 years
plus
to give you at a very low cost.
Exactly right.
And to have that backbone and support is.
And the thing with a team too is that, and I kind of realized this like just recently, that markets change and then customers change with the new era right now, with Amazon era. People want things quick.
Rapid fast.
So now it's not anymore like it was back in time. And like if you like join somebody that have been in the business for 20 years and he has a couple agents, he's gonna like kind of push you in a way that he knows to do things which it might not be the right way right now, 2023, right?
100%.
And then teams are always like advanced with what's going on in the market, because they have
so many agents that they can rely and look at that information at.
And then clients too, like with teams, the client doesn't work because he knows the team leader or the CEO or whatever,
I'm really glad that you mentioned that, 'cause I was going to ask both of you. So it's in your guys' opinion, in today's day and age, because the market's just so screwed up, you can't even compare it to 5 years ago. You can't even compare it to 3 years ago. It's a complete different story. What does it take today, day and age, to get yourself a house? Let's say, for example, you were gonna get yourself a 2,000 square foot house for, I don't know, probably really unrealistic here, but 350,000. Like is that even available on the market?
It's doable.
What are you looking at when you're like, what does it take in this day and age, to be happy with what you're buying?
So, you want to go ahead?
You can go ahead.
So first of all, I would say, and you're talking more as of like a first-time buyer.
For a first-time home buyer who's just looking for something that's like, maybe they could put a little work and they're going to be there for the next 3-5 years, and in hopes that they can get a little equity on it,
Yeah.
It's an investment in a sense,
Yeah, get out of rent and all that.
Exactly.
So I was going to say, to start off, it's just kind of, having a good credit, obviously matter.
What is considered a good credit?
620 and above.
620 and above. Some lenders can even get it done at 580.
So yeah, so they leave like a because that's the that's my mom is very good at. My mom owns a mortgage and processing business.
Oh, okay.
So and she specializes with a lot of people that have low credit score, low income, and she's able to do that kind of stuff, you know. So
it's got more like hiccups if you're
Right.
below that. It's
Right.
doable.
anything below 580, it's almost very hard.
And like you both know, it all depends too on what's their debt to income ratio.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors,
Right.
of course, but like we're just say statistically, let's say like they have a 680 credit score, they make $60,000 a year, they have no student loan debt, their life's in order in a sense. What can they get?
So they
Because I feel like that's an average person.
So
I
they
feel
make
like,
60,000 a year, probably putting 15 to 20% down on a $300,000 house
Yeah,
that
which
you
is-
want to be 2,000 square feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
What area?
Just
Like
a nice area.
I would say, and I'm gonna just talk general.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want very general.
Yeah,
That's
general.
it doesn't even matter about the area. Like, is it doable? Is it doable to get yourself that kind of house without a killer interest rate and a killer mortgage?
Well, the said it's it's not like the interest rate we cannot control.
Well, of course.
And based on the income that you just mentioned,
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say to either meet with an agent first,
You're right.
and this is for first time home buyers
Mhm.
because people kind of like buying a home is not like buying a pair of shoes, or you kind of have to get financing straight your future plans.
Yeah.
So sitting down with like an agent or a mortgage broker would
Right.
always help, and I would say the mortgage broker more because he's going to give them the exact idea of how much they can afford based on their income.
That's
and their
exactly what my mom does, because she's doing a credit report on you, and then right when you're doing the credit report, it's all coming up. It shows if you have any what's it called, if you have any
Student debt.
well not, exactly, anything that
Credit
penalties
lines.
missed, if you have
Yeah.
collections,
Line of
if
credit.
exactly, everything.
because so they need to start like knowing how much can afford then, because they might not afford the 350. They might afford more. You never know. People don't know, and then they will look at your finances. They will give you the exact number to the penny, and then when you get, and they're going to give you the pre-approval, right? And when you get that paper, you can at least know how much can you afford, and then if you go and then look for houses.
So other than go ahead, Eric.
I was gonna say so ultimately today's market is kind of tough. You can agree.
Yeah.
Fellow realtor, you can agree. Do you have any advice for first-time home buyers? Do you have any advice for first-time home buyers that are looking to get into the market and purchase a home? Do you have any good advice that could help navigate them through the process?
That's how I'm gonna touch base. Because you mentioned, meet with a realtor, meet with a mortgage broker, and discuss a plan. But other than that, like,
what are some tools in your tool belt you're going to use to get them that house in this tough market?
I mentioned meet with a realtor or meet with a broker because, like I said, that first-time home buyers need to know where they're at before even starting, and then I would say that first-time home buyers they can't complain about the interest rate because they're paying 100% interest rate.
Yeah.
Okay,
If they're
and
renting.
if they're renting, then
exactly.
first-time buyers usually they rent or they're moving out,
Yeah.
from parents. That's a different story.
Which is a situation.
It's another situation. Well, it's their first time buying a house. So mostly first time home buyers, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're mostly renters, right?
Right.
They want to get out of rent, especially rents right now are through the roof. So I would say, talking to a mortgage broker or whoever their bank, actually talking to 2-3 different people, whoever gives them the best deal, and get their finances straight to know how much can afford. And then as far as me the advice would be that they should leave some things on the table, meaning that they cannot buy the perfect house first one, especially in the market right now.
No house is going to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, no house is going to be a 10 out of 10, so they can kind of figure out between themselves which are their top like requirements to be in their next home, and be a little bit patient because it's a process. They might lose a couple times. We're very tight inventory right now, and that's what I think to start off.
Question for you guys. I was gonna say, as being two realtors, how do you feel when your clients come to you and say, or even send it to you, I found this house on Zillow's? I found this on Zillow.
So,
How?
50-50. You're asking how do we feel about them sending us a Zillow link?
Yeah, because for a lot of people that don't know, you guys use something called MLS. MLS is probably one of the biggest platforms out there. You know, it has access to every residential, every commercial property out there.
Yeah.
Half the stuff that's not even listed on Zillow. So it's just very interesting to me that, like, sure, your imagination kind of wander and go on Zillow and you can kind of just scroll, but you have access to 4 times more than what Zillow does.
Right.
So it's just kind of, I just wanted to see what you guys think about that.
So to me, it's 50-50. So what I tend to do with all my clients is send them my Zillow profile so they can set me as their agent.
Mm-hmm.
So if they send me a listing off Zillow,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the only one that gets notified.
Gotcha.
Or is the favorite one.
Correct. Because what Zillow does is if you go on there, favorite a lead, make an account at some sort of way, they're going to sell your information to 7 different agents.
Yeah, it gets sent on.
Right. But if I have you set as, or you have me set as your agent, I'm going to be the only one that gets notified.
Mm-hmm.
So when I have them set, or when they have me set as my agent, I like it. But I have lost clients, first year in the business, from Zillow. Of course, you don't answer your phone one time, or you're off at another showing, and then
on to the next one.
They just go on Zillow and
they're on to the next one.
Yeah.
What do you
How
think,
do you
Angelo?
I was gonna say I feel 50-50 too. I like people looking around for what's going on the market, you know, because when I bought the house myself, and then before, when you make the decision that you're gonna buy a house, you're all day on Zillow, Trulia, whoever you use. So we as an agent, we cannot stop that.
Yeah.
It's
just so easy and so convenient.
And I kind of like it being that easy, but at the same time, like, because we do a lot of, I don't know Eric now, but we do a lot of business through Zillow.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have a lot of like inbound like requests from Zillow, and then a lot of people, they just go on Zillow because their agent it's not available, or their
agent's out of town,
or
agent's sick,
or they have
no patience.
They have somebody and they're just excited to like go look at a house, and they feel bad asking an agent, because a lot of agents out there don't show to people that are not pre-approved.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they know an
agent, or they have an agent and they know, like, hey, if I hit them up, they're gonna say no because I'm not qualified. So let's just go on Zillow.
Exactly. Yeah. So I have mixed feelings too myself. I like it because it's very convenient, you know, and then people just are used to it. But I like it more when people just text me the link from Zillow. You know, why not? And then I can just check it and.
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, speaking of clients texting you links from Zillow, let's talk. I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. You just had, I believe, your biggest month yet a couple months ago, correct?
Yeah, it was my biggest month yet.
10 pendings.
6 pendings for closings.
6 pendings for closings for over $3 million in volume, correct?
2.6.
2.6.
That's still some numbers, though.
That's
numbers. Still some numbers.
Yeah,
especially
congratulations.
In a market this tough. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, and like, because that's the thing. I don't really understand, like, you know, obviously how, you know, I do understand how you guys get paid, but at the same time, it can come with sacrifices, because you can, to want to close a deal, sometimes you got to lose a little bit of your commission to make sure that your customer's happy.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
That's you have to.
Yeah.
You got to cut the 2.5% to 2% if that's gonna save your customer their closing costs. You have to.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna save the deal, get it to close.
You're not gonna ruin $2,000 over $600. You know.
Exactly.
So just tell me a little bit, like, you know, was there a lot of struggles in between closing that amount of deals so quickly? Is there a lot of negotiations that have to happen? Are they smooth? How do they go for you?
So,
especially these 10, like, you know.
Apart from your last, they're never smooth.
Fair enough.
Like
if they're smooth, be careful for the next one.
You're like started work. Like it's impossible that this one can go this smooth. You know, something is about to happen. Yeah, it was a big month, like all over the place, man. Weekends, you know, leaving the house at 7, some days going at 8 o'clock, just all over the place because it's not just that month. Like it was more before, like 2 or 3 months before that to
Okay.
get to that, right?
The
Eric
effort
is
from
60 to 90 days prior
Yeah,
showed up.
So you're building up all the clientele,
Exactly.
showing the houses,
Yeah.
and then finally everyone's ready to close.
and everything falls
everything popped up.
popped up, yeah, and then falls where it needs to be. So yeah, it was just all over the place. A lot of work, a lot of calls, a lot of, like you said, negotiations, because it was a mix like of sellers and buyers,
Mm.
and it's just different with both. It was a lot. Yeah, it was just a lot.
So
Let me ask you this. So, in a lot of people's opinion right now, there's a surplus of real estate agents out there. And they'd say probably for every 10 out there, only one's actually doing something because there's just that many out there. And there's not enough houses to be selling for the amount of real estate agents that are out there.
Exactly.
So a lot of people are struggling. You know, a lot of people are in a tough place. They don't know what to do. Like, you know, they thought that because they were salespeople, that they could sell a house. There's a lot of people who are struggling. What are some suggestions you could give to people that are, like, you know, on that struggling side of what they can do to increase, you know, the traction that they're getting, you know, maybe increase sales and closings, you know, what's some suggestions that you could give for struggling realtors?
Yeah, so I was gonna say that, especially right now, I don't know the real statistic, but I think over 30,000 agents didn't renew their license the past couple months. Yeah. So yeah, it's, and
I
you know,
believe
it's sad.
It's over 100,000.
There's a lot.
Like,
There's
out
because
of the
there are
business,
so many
yeah.
agents out there, and they realize it's not what it is. You know,
It's not. Well, even
It's not
us. I'm
2020
assuming me,
anymore.
and I'm going off topic, but
Yeah.
I like going back to the question about real estate. I never thought it would be like this, right, Eric? Yeah, it's just different, and it's tough. It's
I
hard.
mean, and it's hard for us to say too because
We've
we joined, or we didn't join. We got into real estate 2020
At a very weird
2021,
time.
Yeah.
At a very weird time in the market. We've never seen a really normal market
Well,
in today's day and age.
that's what I was in touch base on. You know, from when my dad used to be a real estate agent. You know, he's seen all the way from 2005 all the way from 2012. You know, all the way on, like even longer in between. So he's seen from when the economy was at its best to all the way crashing to coming all the way back up. You know.
Yeah. So he lived a lot of, like, you know, waves in the real estate.
Yes, there was a lot. There was a lot of ups. There was a lot of downs. There's the times where, you know, like, you know, when the market collapsed, no one's buying houses.
Yeah.
You know, back in 2008, everyone's foreclosing and no one's buying. You know, it's just bank sale, bank sale, bank sale. That was it.
Yeah, that
Wh-
was tough.
Which
That
is
time would never
crazy too,
come.
because no one was buying houses, but like the people we work for, they made their careers in 2008.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because, well, that's the thing. Like, you know, back then, like I remember my dad, the houses that he would show, and it's like an $800,000 house, right?
250.
No, I'm talking like that back then. It's an $800,000
Oh, okay,
house.
and it's like
So
a $4 million
this is a $4 or
house.
$5 million house
Yeah.
now, like without a doubt. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Like I remember passing by these houses like just a couple weeks ago. One was for sale, and I think it was for sale for $7.5 million, and it was like a $1.5 million property. It had a basketball court, a ton of. Don't get me wrong, it was a very nice property. $7.5 million, absolutely not, absolutely not.
Yeah. No, it's tough right now, and it takes a lot. Like when we started, it was a bit easier. You know, a lot of people were buying. Interest rate was low. Because right now, as we're talking right now, it's kind of changing a little bit too. You know, it's not anymore.
I think sitting around 7.5.
It's 8 right now.
It went up a
Yeah.
couple points.
Yeah, it's close to 8 or maybe sometimes
It's
above
like
that.
7, 8.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of people are leaving the business, because it's just, you know, it's just not easy, and it takes a lot. You know, it takes a lot of effort.
Right.
You gotta talk to a lot of people. You have to educate yourself. I mean, yeah, it's tough right now.
The end of
At the
the
end of the day, we were always taught. I mean, we were taught like the same. It's a contact sport. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
the more people you talk to, the more deals you're gonna do. The
Mhm.
more deals you're gonna do, the bigger your bank account's gonna be. The bigger your bank account's gonna be, the happier your life's gonna be.
And more in the first years,
Is that the model they train you guys?
That's the motto, baby.
well, yeah.
just
And it's more outbound the first years. Like
Right.
if you compare yourself to somebody that's been in the business for 20 years, then he has like 500 transactions under his belt. You know, things for that guy, that person, it's, you know, it's easier than when you start off.
Yeah.
It's more you gotta go to the people. You know,
Right.
no one will come to you.
No.
Come and grab you first, and then you need to kind of, especially in this day and age with social media, you need to kind of tell people that you know what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, if you're confident that you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
which, you know, we are. So
Well, that's the thing. If you're able to sell yourself, if you can have people believe what you're selling, then I think they'll buy it. I think that's the big thing. If you don't know how to sell to people and make them believe on what you're selling, then if you don't believe in yourself, then why should they?
Well,
In a
yeah,
sense.
exactly. And it's not about it's not really about selling. It's so I kind of flipped my mindset kind of lately. Just so when you get a client, initially when we started, and I don't know if you did, but I did it. I was like thinking for my last step in the beginning, right?
Yeah. Right.
Which is a long way until that.
You're already thinking about getting paid.
Getting paid, yeah.
You
I'm
get a
going, if
client,
he buys
you
this
start-
much, I'm going to get paid this
Exactly.
You
much.
open your calculator.
You start
This is
doing
the
commission
percentage.
calculations,
This is how much,
yeah.
Now it's just like the more I don't do that, the more things business comes and things go well. It's a process, because when you buy a house, it's a long process, and like I said, I try to be very upfront with people, and then if they don't like it or not, what I'm gonna say, I don't overthink it, and then the more you overthink things in our business, the worse it gets.
Right.
So yeah, I try to be very upfront, very open. If I see something wrong, I say it, and people appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, we just kind of touched. So first, going on 3 years in the business at the end of this year, what's the worst experience you've had in real estate so far? Like, worst showing you've had, worst client story, nightmare deal.
Yeah, I want to hear some of this, because
What-
Eric has told me some stories.
Yeah, let's give our people something that, like, not to scare anybody from
No, not to
buying
scare,
a house.
But I want to hear something interesting.
Glad you bring this up, because a lot of agents, they just show the good things that they
pretty,
do, right? The
right,
pretty things,
right.
selling,
The
buying,
$1
showing.
$1,000,000 houses, they don't
Yeah,
show
they
the
show-
$50,000 ones gutted with.
It's just that, but a lot.
No, but the stuff inside of it, and like,
So, my worst that I can think of was one of those pendings that I had. One of the 6 pendings that I had.
Oh, is this
a couple
recent
months
ones?
ago. Yeah, the recent one.
Mhm.
So, I was representing the seller on a listing, and everything went, well. A lot of there's always, ups and downs,
Mhm.
hiccups along the inspection and everything. Buyers just try to get something, even though it's just something stupid that they ask for, but whatever.
Right.
It's just negotiation, right?
Right.
So we went, everything went good. We settled on the price, on repairs, whatever. And it was a Friday. Usually closings happen on Friday.
Everybody's rushing.
I was actually going to buy the closing gift
okay,
like a couple hours before the closing.
right.
And I received a call that the buyer lost his job and he cannot close on the house.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which, unfortunately, too, to touch on, is a very common problem
Really?
we're facing right now in the Metro Detroit area. Because if you work for the big three,
Oh yeah,
you
you're
are
unemployed.
not closing
Yeah,
on a house
you're unemployed
until-
right now.
It's, so
You-
that
yeah.
and then that deal was like along the way it was like bad. So the buyer had to close his house. He didn't close it as what he thought. He closed it for less. So we needed to drop the price to match it. Okay, we settled on that. And then when we went to the closing table, like literally I was buying the closing gift.
Yeah.
And then they called me. They're like, we cannot close. He lost his job.
Oh wow.
That's a nightmare. Have you had any like unique experiences like showing a house? Like, for example, like you go show a house and there's a homeless guy in there, or like someone like broke in and like it's all. I know you do.
A lot.
It's-
Yeah, I had. I mean, finding people in the bathroom or.
Oh man, naked
Uh,
people in bed.
what?
No, that not happened to me.
Story?
Tell it for the people.
That
Okay.
not happened to me.
Tell it for the people.
All right,
wanna
let, me,
hear
let,
this.
me, let me take you guys back to January 1st, 2023.
How do you remember that well?
Because it was a very specific day, Alex. It was fresh to the new year. I woke up in great spirits, all right? I scheduled a showing on January 31st for the first of the new
Yeah,
for the new year,
yeah.
right? At noon.
Okay.
Perfect. Gives them time to wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
It's not like a going show. They had to confirm it.
Yeah.
Confirmed. I was like, great. Show up at this house. I'm walking up to the door. Because, mind you, I did an open house at this house the weekend before, so I was kind of familiar with the house.
Yes, like you had no problems with
So-
the week before.
Correct. So
Okay.
I walked up to the door. Lockbox is nowhere to be found.
Okay.
But there's a key hanging out of the door. And mind you, we're in Warren, so we're not in the nicest area.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a key hanging out of the door with a lanyard. I'm like, weird. So someone stole the lockbox, but there's a key hanging out
Uh-huh.
the door.
Interesting.
So I was like, huh? maybe he left it in the door. Because people do that, some weird shit. They leave doors unlocked. They leave keys some places for you to grab without telling you. And so I was like, all right, let me just walk in. I walked in and screamed realtor 3 times. No one said anything. So me and my client, who's a female, and she's like 30, so we walk in. Beautiful house in Warren. Walking through, look at the first bedroom. Yeah. Great.
Is it furnished still?
Furnished.
Oh, okay.
Great house. It's not furnished, staged.
Yeah, okay.
But someone is staying there. So we walk in, look at the first house, or look at the first bedroom, look at the second bedroom, all great. Turn around, I look at the living room, kitchen, and I'm like, weird. Why would someone just have a bunch of clothes, like, look like they took it off in their living room, you know?
Okay.
Bam, walk into the third bedroom. I open the door. I look at the bed. It's like kids our age.
Oh my God.
Butt ass naked on the bed. No covers or nothing. And I look at my client, I'm like, yo, we gotta get out of here.
Oh my God.
I shut the door, I walk outside, I call the agent didn't answer. I'm sitting there talking to my client, and the kid walks out. He's like...
The guy?
Yeah, the guy in there. He's like, oh my God, man, my fault. This is my uncle's house. I just stay here to watch the house, which is very common in areas like that.
I think he does more than that.
Yeah. And he was like, I didn't see his text. I'm sorry. Give me 2 minutes. And I don't think he even knew we came in, like, we saw him.
Oh,
so if he sees this, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, whoever you are, man, you fucked up. You got caught lacking.
I literally turned to my client and I was like, well, if that's how the new year is going to go, that's how it's going to go.
Before we get off topic, Angelo, what's next for you? You know, what's the next project for you? What's the next journey? You know, what's a 5-year plan looking like for you?
Never thought that far.
Well, you got to have something.
Yeah, no,
personal,
for sure.
business, life.
Have you ever thought yourself that are you gonna want to be your own realtor? Are you gonna want to become your own? What's the proper word for it?
Broker?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean a broker? I thought about it, but not
That's in the future.
too much. Yeah, it's too far. I might not even be a broker. Just, but as far as real estate wise, business wise, I wanna, in 5 years, maybe have like very sustainable business. You know, and I mentioned before, I like real estate as a whole. So I see myself having couple 3-4 rental properties. I really
some investment
love
properties.
Having rental properties, and I'm helping a lot of people right now buying rentals too, so
Very
I'm
common right now.
very common. I'm very kind of familiar with the process, so I see myself having a good helping a lot of people, having good sustainable business, and having a couple investments.
What about personally? What's the next 5-year plan for your personal goals? If you don't mind us asking.
I probably will be a great dad because I'm about to be a dad right now. Yeah, my wife is blessed. Thank you. Maybe with one more, not just one.
Yeah. How many kids do you want?
Are you having twins?
No, like in 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just asking, how many kids do you want in general?
I'd say 3. Yeah.
That's what everyone says, I think.
But let's see how with one is.
Yeah.
So
right now, it's tough right now.
It's tough. Yeah. Let's see with how one is. Hopefully everything goes good with this one, and then just I can I like having 3, but you never know. Life. And
we're excited for you, man. We're excited to see what the next 5 years takes you. Really.
Hopefully we can sit here in 5 years and kind of
100%.
replay this.
Right.
And we'll all regroup.
Right.
Angela, honestly, it was great to meet you. I really enjoyed, this conversation that we had. I got to meet a lot about you. I think a lot of the people got to learn something interesting about you and just the market and in general the market of real estate and how it's all happening and coming together right now.
Right.
Thank you guys for having me.
Angela, I really appreciate you coming on to the show. Do you have anything you want to say to the people?
No, I think I said everything I had to say. I can't think of anything right now.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in again. Make sure you guys come and subscribe and come in next week for our next episode. We'll have another video posted. It's gonna be which one is it?
Our next episode is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it's okay. So it's a interview between me and Eric. A little bit of a simple one, but it's how, in a sense, Eric and I met and how 313 Exotic Drinks came to be what it is and how it was created. So it's definitely an interesting one. It's a little bit of a longer one, but it's something that you're going to want to catch on.
So I guess we'll see you guys next week on the 313 Exotic episode.
See you guys.